You're listening to the Bourbon Nerdz Podcast, episode Buffy, the Turkey Slayer, featuring Theron, friend of the podcast, bourbon enthusiast, #1 connoisseur.
Been with us since day one.
He's a day one.
He's a day oneer.
I was there when this plan was hatched.
Push
in a folding
the mic
chair.
a little bit.
Yeah, in a folding chair. We were at a drop.
Yeah.
Grapes and grains.
Yeah. So, how you doing, everyone? Welcome back. I'm excited for another
morning,
Bourbon Nerdz
Vietnam.
another Bourbon Nerdz episode. We got Garrett. He's obviously had a good time today.
Well,
so.
you're like yelling into the mic, bro.
I am. I was trying to bring some energy. I'm sorry that I like to bring the energy to the podcast.
Bring the funk.
So, how you doing, Theron?
Doing well, Cody. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm having a good day. We had a lot of fun. I didn't win the George C. Stag, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But we tried a lot of good bourbon. I got up really super early, and I'm exhausted and had a good time. Did you have a good time today?
I did.
We'll
Getting
talk
up
about
even earlier than you.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later.
What
actually happened?
Oh yeah, okay, we can definitely do that. We've definitely got some highlights. So, anyways, this is the first episode since we came back from Mexico. I'm excited to record an episode today with our good friend Theron. We've got some absolutely bangers of a bottle. Obviously, if you didn't know, the title Buffy the Vampire Slayer is a play on words with
Buffy the Turkey Slayer.
Buffy the Turkey Slayer. We've got 3 bottles today, which we're going to enjoy of the BuffTurkey mash bill, which is a hot topic. We got the Buckner's single barrel 15-year. We got the OKI 16-year single barrel. And we'll give you a little more description. And we've got a blendery bottle, the Albino Bison Single Barrel Select. So, and these are all 3 different proofs. We got 103 for the Buckner's, 115 for the OKI, and a whopping 123.2 for the blendery limited release. So I'm excited to try these. I'm excited to talk about them on the podcast and give you our thoughts and give you a little bit of a history about how this came about with the old BuffTurkey going on. And So
Cody, I got to start with, how was Mexico?
Mexico was awesome. So for all of you new listeners and maybe listeners that haven't listened to a few previous episodes, I got married in Mexico.
Woo! Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah. So we actually got married in Puerto Morales at a resort called Dreams Jade. It was very fun. Had just a very small wedding, nothing too crazy, but had family and friends there. And looks like Theron has something for me over here.
When someone gets married, you got to get them a gift.
Yeah, absolutely. This is probably.
Oh, that's cool.
Thank you.
Nice.
I'm gonna open this up. Theron just got me a gift for my wedding.
Live on the podcast. I like
know.
it.
Wow. I might cry right now. So hold back the tears, boys. Oh, it's my favorite.
It's a
benchmark foolproof. I will not be shabby about that.
That's Cody's like top bourbon of the year.
Yeah, that might be my surprise bourbon of the year right now. So thank you, Theron. I appreciate that. I gladly drink and take as many of those benchmark foolproofs as possible. But but no, we had a really good time. We got married, obviously. I thought it was excellent. I mean, this is a small group. We got married on the pergola right next to the beach. We had our reception on the courtyard, like the garden area, which was cool. We had our own little private DJ and dance area, so everyone danced. I think that's probably the most I've ever danced in my entire life. That whole trip, we went to they had a little nightclub at night outside of the wedding, and we literally danced our socks off. So we had a good time. I hope all my family and friends had fun, and we'll have pictures and stuff. We'll share more once we get the final copies of it. Apparently, it takes 16 years to get this back, but it was really good, and I'm excited. So, I appreciate that. But I'm excited to try these BuffTurkey bottles. And again, we're going to lead off with the Buckner Single Barrel 15-year 103 proof. So let's talk a little bit about there. And I wanted to kind of, because I know you're kind of like the expert when it comes to the BuffTurkey.
Far from it.
So you know a little bit about it. So I wanted you to kind of give us a little bit of a history about how this whole BuffTurkey thing came about, and now it's kind of turned into a phenomenon.
Yeah, so Buffalo turkey, BuffTurkey, it goes by several different names, but ultimately what it is, it was a spirit that was kind of created in tandem with Buffalo Trace and Wild Turkey. So as I understand it, I guess in like 2011, Wild Turkey was purchased by the Campari Group, I think it was, and they put like a $50 million expansion project into place. And during that time, I guess they had concerns about their production yield. And so what they did is they reached out to Buffalo Trace and asked them if they could help them by distilling some bourbon for them. So Buffalo Trace distilled it to Wild Turkey specifications using Wild Turkey's mash bill Wild Turkey's mash bill, but with Buffalo Trace's grains and yeast. It was Buffalo Trace yeast.
Okay.
So then that got barreled and it got shipped back to Wild Turkey, and it sat in a warehouse for 14 years. Wild Turkey, ultimately, they tasted it. They realized how good it was, but it sounds like they couldn't come up with a good marketing plan or how to issue it themselves. So I think it was sold via brokers by the barrel to individuals and non-distilling producers.
Yeah. The way I understand, we talked a little bit about that on our podcast with Randall, how brokers work. It's kind of like first come, first serve. We've got X amount of whiskey, X amount of barrels, X amount of price. So I'm really shocked that Wild Turkey didn't jump on, and maybe it was the transition and the overconsumption and this whole thought of bourbon's dead and, everyone's overproduced bottles. Like, right, we're getting, perfect example is Buffalo Trace is coming out with an Eagle Rare 12-year, which we'll talk about. I know I'm jumping the gun a little bit, which I'm really excited about. But I think a lot of companies have overproduced bourbon. We have seen a decline. It's statistically happened, but I'm all for that. If I can get really good whiskey at a cheaper price or readily available, sign me up all day long,
Yeah, and this was issued in, there is some 14-year, I believe, out there, a lot of 15-year and 16-year. As I understand it, about 70% of the barrels have been bottled and, are either sold or, will soon be sold as 16-year top.
Yeah.
There's another 15% they're going to be hung on to and probably issued at 18%, and then another 15% that I think are going to be issued and probably hung on to until their 20-year.
Okay. Wow. 20-year would be
more
nuts.
to look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exciting. Wow. That's good. All right. So we've got Buckner's in front of us. When I'm smelling it, I don't know. What do you get, Garrett? I'm getting, obviously,
I'm getting almost like a Jack Daniel's profile. Like, it doesn't have a Buffalo Trace or Wild Turkey. I get almost like a banana kind of note.
I'm definitely not getting.
You got some Jack in your
I think
glass
so.
this morning.
I don't know. I
think so.
I smell like a lot of banana, a lot of cinnamon, things like that.
I get Russell's Reserve and some Buffalo Trace product mixed together. If they had a baby, they were. They had a class in college. They were, starting to date now and they had a baby.
And it's very sweet on the palate.
It is very sweet. I agree. I get kind of a grapey note, like a typically Buffalo Trace grapey, and then I get a little bit of that turkey funk.
Yeah.
And it's so hard for me to nail down exactly what that turkey funk is, but when you smell turkey funk, and it's like, it's semi-dusty. It's not obviously a dusty, but it's kind of got that dust funk to it, but it's so good. I love turkey, so it's so good. And then the palate on this, and again, my first sip, I'll give you my second sip. First sip, like, it's like a rocket ship. Like, the finish on it was like, holy smokes. It blew my socks off.
And
it's 103 for this Buckner, so I was like shocked. So I'm going to take a second sip real quick and try to give you some of my tasting notes.
Yeah, that's the lowest proof one I have.
It's very sweet up front, for sure.
It's calmed down. That first one, though, I guess just like, I don't know, because we've had a few bourbons today with the drop and all
Quite a
that.
few.
Still, the finish is like dynamite. For 103, like, it hugs me. It tucks me in bed at night and says, it's time to go to bed. So,
and it says unfiltered cask strength. It says single barrel. So it just kind of makes me wonder how many different barrels they had for this release. Because I know some of the OKI, which this is OKI 16. This is 115 proof. So I know the BuffTurkey has kind of been all over the place. So it just makes you wonder what they're doing when they're getting it, I guess. Like the Buckner's is 103 and that one's 116. So what's the difference between the Buckner and the OKI? because I don't think a year is going to make up 13, proof.
No, and I've seen. I mean, the other OKI 16 year I have is a 108. So it's I think it's just the.
So they all might be single barrels and just kind of.
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah, with the exception of and I think there's 20 plus non-distilling producers that have these under their labels, like Sealbox. They have a 15 year, but they actually small batched it.
I've seen that one. I've seen the Dark Arts. I've seen OKI. I've seen Buckner's, the Blendery.
Yeah, there's
a few more out there.
Bluegrass, Elkwood.
I haven't heard of those.
The Magnolia Illuminati. That's supposed to be a sought after one.
I feel like
new era.
I feel like some of these are coming out of nowhere.
River Roots has it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of distilleries I've got. Luckily, I don't know. Like every time I try a piece of this, right, through the ones that I've tried, and a lot of them through Theron, they're all very good. Like. If you like turkey products, you like Buffalo Trace, which Buffalo Trace is my favorite distillery. Unfortunately, I know it's very controversial, but they make the products that I love the most as of right now. And I love Bardstown, and I love Wild Turkey, and I love a lot of other places. But just I can't not gravitate towards my favorite bottle of all time comes from Buffalo Trace, so I've got to give them respect where it's due. So, but this is very good, and I know it's mainly turkey, right? It's turkey derived from Buffalo Trace machinery, basically.
And ingredients.
So, but...
So you could say it's all Buffalo Trace, but at Wild Turkey's mash bill.
Turkey's mash bill and aging and warehouses.
So, okay, got it. So, I mean, you can smell and taste the footprint of both distilleries, so which is cool. I mean, I would love... I hope this continues to get a lot of momentum. I know that a lot of these bottles in the secondary are reaching north of $400 and plus 500.
North of 5 into 6s, depending on what it is.
So when they first came out, it was like 3-ish, right?
Which is honestly too much for it. Yeah, 3, 4 is still. I mean, that's a lot of money to put down on a bottle, but it's also something that's unique and. Will really never happen again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I mean, it's kind of like a taste and a piece of history, but it's very good. I like this Buckner's. I think it tastes really well.
It's definitely very sweet up front.
Yeah, it's super sweet up front, but it's got a mean finish. I mean, it finishes for days. Not as much on the mid palate. Not picking up that grape note as much. I get a little more like caramel spice, but then like there's just a lot of sweetness. It kind of overwhelms your palate, but so that's the first Buckner's. So we can move over to the OKI if you guys want to try that one.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, so this is the one that Grapes and Grains released.
So while we're pouring this, did you guys see the?
Yeah, the finish is insane.
I guess moving over more to like Nerd Rage, right? So, did you guys see the Switch 2 was coming out? And
yeah,
the lines. So it's really funny because people are like lining up for different things, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't realize the Pokemon releases today," and "Oh, I didn't realize the Switch 2 was released today," and I didn't. There's another thing I can't think of what they're called. The Mululu or Bululu. I don't know, but. There's all these different things that are kind of releasing. Everybody's kind of lining up, and everybody's like, "I don't know what we're lining up for, but
let's do it." Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the whiskey drop. Like, guy was like, "What's going on here?" And then he bought some whiskeys and got some really good bottles, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna come back for the raffle." I didn't even know what was going on. So I don't think he did, but it was just kind of interesting. But yeah, I mean, like. Limited releases and stuff, or the popularity and people lining out. I mean, they do it for sneakers and stuff. I mean, they've been doing that for a long time, so it's not far fetched for people to be doing that. But it seems to be a growing thing for people to be open before the store is there, camping out, doing the whole thing, and it's kind of become a fun thing. Like we were hanging out today at the drop. Like we got there at 5 a.m. and.
We got there at 5 a.m.
I was like 5:30, so sue me. But yeah, we're still there way before the liquor store opens, and there's a ton of bottles sharing and just talking and catching up, and it was a lot of fun. It was good. I it
was a lot of fun. There was a lot of good pours, like the Willet Purple Top. There was a Maker's Mark Cellar Age. I brought the Star
Hill.
Yeah.
Today Junior.
I keep calling it Star City.
Star City. Star City Games. Yeah, no, that's fine. Just give me a hard time.
But a little bit of the Switch 2. The Switch 2 features a custom NVIDIA processor, a 7.9-inch LCD screen with 1080 resolution, HDR10 support, and VRR up to 120 hertz, 12 gigabyte of memory. Yeah, it's just kind of the specs. As far as I know, though, like it's not like crazy different from the Switch 1. It looks pretty cool. Have you seen it a lot?
I haven't seen I knew it was coming out, but it has an NVIDIA graphics card. I don't believe the first one has an NVIDIA, but I could be wrong. I'm not that nerdy.
Well, and they also announced that the Xbox is going to have a handheld system, which is kind of interesting. So.
Which is not surprising. I mean, PlayStation's had a handheld for a while.
And it didn't work out, which I thought it was kind of cool. I don't know why it didn't really work out.
I don't know either. That honestly, like those handhelds, like to me, it's just so tough to compete with the smartphone, these days. So you've really got to separate yourself. You can do everything on a smartphone.
Keep them separated.
Hey, what do you say?
Come out and play.
Got to keep them separated. Sorry, all right, we're gonna get back on track here.
You're like all over the place. What?
You're the one singing that song.
But I know the song lyrics.
I do, and I was singing it. Ooh, this. All right, so now we're on the OKI single barrel 16-year 115.9 proof. Man, these are good. Like, if
they're all very sweet up front.
If a turkey and a buffalo fought and battled each other for ages, and finally they were like, you know what, we're just gonna get married and put our differences aside, and they had children, and those children grew up to be very successful. That's what this tastes like. And the finish on these are, I don't know if I've ever had a finish this like long, and it's just insane.
Yeah, and a lot of these, I get that grape, and then it kind of goes in like a honeydew, and then like the apple skin sort of finish on. That's really like a defining factor that I really have found through a lot of these different ones.
Dude. So just a little bit on Theron. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, what do you do for a living? What got you into bourbon? Tell us about yourself a little bit.
Yeah. So, I'm from Texas. Actually, what was it? When were we at the Grapes and Grains drop? Was it October of last year?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was actually the first time I ever went to a drop, like we were talking about this morning, going to the drop we did at Apollo, but I'd never gone to a drop before. So I like, what the heck? This new store opened up by me, went and talked to the owner. He told me about it. It's like, it sounds fun. It's down the street. Why not? And so I pull up. I think I'm 50th in line, and it's still like it's dark. Yeah. It's early, and these two guys are sitting next to me, and they start talking about wanting to do a podcast and this and that. Like, whatever, guys, that'll never happen. And as it turns out, it ends up being Cody and Garrett. Yeah. And strange, twist of fate. So actually, I graduated from Southeastern in Durant, and these guys also went to Southeastern Durant. So it's really small world.
And we never made it. We never made the podcast. That never happened.
Nope. No. The rest was history.
Yeah.
We turned we hired robots, and that's what's happening today. It's AI, all AI.
We're just AI robots.
Yeah,
John Connor.
But that's how I met these guys. And, I will say, if you haven't been to one, or maybe you have like a negative opinion of like getting up and getting in a line, it's actually, it's a lot of camaraderie. Like, you meet really cool people.
Oh, yeah.
That are, everybody at those things are really like giving in knowledge or bottles or, taste or whatever. It's a lot of fun. It's worth doing it just to kind of get into the community.
So let me put a value on what probably, and I didn't drink that much, but I've had 5 or 6 pours. I probably had $300 worth of whiskey, and I didn't pay a dime for any of it.
Oh, you mean
people
this
sharing?
morning?
Yeah, the bottles, purple top, and just all the stuff we tried. And the diversity and stuff. It's just it was outstanding. And then talking about it and sharing what you're getting, and learning from other people. Like you can't put a price tag on that.
Yeah, you meet really like cool people, but also you get to like Cody said, you get to try things maybe that you never had before. Like for instance, Garrett tried a 17-year Penelope this morning and ended up being something he really liked.
It changed his life.
Yeah, I know. Maybe one day I'll get one of those bottles.
Yeah, it's like he fell into the Matrix now.
Right.
He just wants to drink 17-year Penelope.
I just want to get a 17-year Penelope in my hands.
Yeah, which he might have happened. We'll see.
I don't know. We'll talk about the drop here in a little bit.
He took the blue pill.
But I guess I got off track as far as...
No, you're fine.
So,
this episode's about fun and us talking about amazing bourbon and just... Like, yeah, we wanted to have a fun episode. We haven't had a fun episode.
Yeah, we wanted to
scripted
talk
and
about
structured.
we want to mostly talk about the BuffTurkey thing and kind of...
Yeah, for sure.
Just kind of hang out and have fun.
So, yeah, but I agree with you on the tasting notes for OKI. You know, you get that kind of like almost cherry caramel honeydew, and then it kind of goes into like a little bit of oak, and it's like, to me, it's like a roller coaster. It's like you're going, you know, the da, and it's like, oh, because like the finish on it is intense,
and it lasts for days too.
And it's like a jet taking off. It's intense, but it's good, and I'm like, I really enjoy it, but it's not for the average person. Like if you're new to bourbon, I don't know if these are for you. There's a lot going on, and it's spiky, proofy. The finish will hug you for days. That's not for everybody. But if you enjoy that type of experience, absolutely, these are worth the money. And I don't know, like we were talking pre-pod before we started, like could these be bourbon of the year? I don't quite know if they're that good, but it's a phenomenal experience, and it's worth that. And sharing that experience with other people is absolutely worth the money for these bottles, if that makes sense.
So, Theron, while we're talking about bourbon of the years, what do you think some of your favorite bourbons are? It doesn't even have to be of this year, just kind of in general.
So I've really always enjoyed Michter's. Love the Michter's 10-year bourbon. The Michter's toasted barrel strength rye it's one of my favorite bottles. It's so unique and so flavorful.
Is the barrel strength toasted rye? Oh,
that's the only Michter's toasted that's barrel strength is the rye.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So it's the green label with the kind of tan highlights on it.
I haven't seen that one. I've seen the toasted like bourbon and the toasted rye, but I didn't see the barrel strength.
Yeah, you have the barrel strength. We got that one.
Yeah, but it's not the toasted one.
Yeah. It's not.
No, it's not.
It's just a barrel strength.
I don't think I've ever had.
It's really good.
Rye.
Like the regular barrel strength rye is really good, but I can imagine. The toasted.
When y'all get around to a Michter's pod, I'll bring it up and y'all can
try
have
to do.
I've been talking about. Honestly, Michter's is quietly becoming one of my favorite distilleries. I love Michter's.
They're consistent.
They do great things. Got to go to Kentucky last year for the first time. Went and did the tour at Michter's. Got to do the bottle your own experience there, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Michter's goes at things a little differently. A lot of the larger, producers, they enter in at a higher proof. They can water it down on the back end to get more yield out of it. Yeah. Michter's goes in, I forget the actual number, but it's like 110 or 119 or something like. They go in at a low proof, but then they don't add a lot of water after the fact to get to the proof point of their typical production. So it's a different process. It costs more to make it.
Yeah.
But I think it produces a really good product.
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, honestly, I know you weren't a big fan of the sour mash, but in general,
that's the only one I haven't really been a huge fan of.
That's a pretty popular bottle. But I mean, the regular Michter's, I haven't drank the US one American whiskey. I haven't drank that as much.
It's just the regular bourbon.
But man, the rye, the 10-year rye, the 10-year bourbon is for 94. It drinks well above its weight class, and it's outstanding. Michter's does some great products. They source a little bit. I know this is not a Michter's podcast because we need to do a Michter's episode, so I don't want to dive too deep in it. But if you're sleeping on Michter's, you're missing out. Like that's. It just they make some great stuff, and even their basic bottles that they have on the market, You can't get the 10 years. I'd love to try the 20-year one day. But
bring your wallet.
Yeah, nice. For sure. So, so talk to us about how you got into bourbon. Like, I know we've talked a little bit about this before, but I'd like to, because I always like to understand people's journey. And I know we've shared, personally, we've talked, when we got to know you and meet you, but how did you get into bourbon?
Yeah, I started in Scotch. And a friend of mine, from way back in high school, is probably, towards the end of college, not long after we graduated, started getting into Scotch, and nothing crazy, but, trying different things.
Yeah.
And then just eventually kind of gravitated towards bourbon. Some of the things like the shelf fermenters and things like that were kind of the first things that I got into.
Yeah.
And then, once I kind of started diving into it and realizing exactly what all was out there.
Yeah.
And then you start, going to drops and meeting people, and then you start these things you never see except for on the internet. Suddenly they start, showing up around you, and you have an opportunity to get them. And it's, it's like any hobby. You can dive in as far as you want to.
Yeah.
But I'd say I'm blessed. I've met a lot of cool people that are really giving and happy to share knowledge, happy to share resources and opportunities. So it's been a really cool experience.
Yeah, I mean the bourbon community is phenomenal. Like you're not going to find more giving people, whether it's knowledge, the shirt off their back, their bourbon, money to support people that are going through different trials and tribulations. It's amazing to be a part of this. And, I know alcohol can be, a controversial thing in people's lives where it can be destructive or, there's alcoholism and all of this crazy stuff. But, there's a lot of great things that if you drink responsibly and just open your heart to get to know someone and share, just share things like it. Bourbon's phenomenal. And I'm lucky to be a part of this community. So,
did you have some scotches and stuff that you were big fans of, or?
Yeah, so I liked, the Glendronach's, Balvenie, I believe is the correct pronunciation as well. I like the Lafroigs, which they're a little more on that kind of peaty medicinal, stronger flavor complex. But yeah, honestly, I once I kind of got into bourbon, I have a couple Scotch on my shelves, but I rarely get into them.
Yeah.
I like the sherry finished. Kind of is what if I get into them, that's what it is these days.
That Baller from St. George is really good. That was a single malt. I don't know exactly if that was supposed to be a Scotch or a Japanese whiskey or what. But
it's Japanese influenced. It's
really good.
It's Scotch based technique, I think, with Japanese influence. But yeah, that was a really cool bottle. Very unique. It was kind of all over the place. Changed flavors and complexities. I've had a lot of scotches and never tasted anything quite like it. So,
but yeah, I kind of run through a lot of the the big producer stuff and your Buffalo Traces and Chased Wellers and all the fun rainbow labels and all that stuff. At one point, I've had. But to be honest, these days I found this little place up in North Texas called the Blendery. And it's a non-distilling producer. They source pretty much everything they get from MGP. And I know y'all have come up there. We did the Operation Bourbon Nerds single barrel pick
One
there.
One of my favorite bottles I've ever had.
And
I love that bottle.
The folks there are. Honestly, they're some of the nicest, coolest people that I've run into. The people that run that place. So. Which I guess is a nice little segue into our last Buffalo Turkey, which is the albino bison, which is from the Blendery.
Is this the 3 that you own, or do you own more of the BuffTurkey?
I've got a handful of other ones.
He's got 72 of the BuffTurkey.
I do not have 72.
He's like, all I want is the BuffTurkey. I don't care about anything else.
1 million BuffTurkeys.
I will say, whenever I go into my little collection closet, it's hard to turn away from them. I see them sitting over there. They're looking at me. It's hard to go reach for something else, honestly.
So before I forget, we are planning to do a Bourbon Nerdz Blendery event. If you have not done anything at the Blendery, I highly, highly recommend. We had such a good time Guys are super knowledgeable. I don't know what they're doing to their whiskey. They talk about it, but it is
hopefully nothing weird.
Yeah, nothing weird, but it's delicious. And we did a 95 rye, which is typical standard MGP like code language if you're a coder. And it blew our socks off. It's one of the favorite ryes. It's one of the best ryes I've ever had.
Oh, for sure.
In my life.
Which Damon gave us his rare character today, and that was pretty good too.
Yeah, that rare character is really good. But I still think that Bourbon Nerdz Blendery bottle's better.
We need to put them side by side.
We should. Sure. We need to do a true test. Thomas Handy, the Michter's Barrel Strength Rye.
The rare character, Michter's, the Operation Bourbon Nerdz.
We're going to do a rye fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
The whole rye thing would be cool.
Well, we've got this. You want to talk a little bit about how you got this bottle? The Albino Bison from the Blendery is...
It's a 123 proof, I think, on this one.
Yes, sir.
Again, also Buffalo Turkey. So my understanding... So the Whiskey Blendery, they, again, source all their stuff. And their owner, he became aware of the Buffalo Turkey barrels availability. And him and his staff went to Kentucky, as I understand it. And they selected... I want to say it was 20 or so barrels that they brought back. And then their members of the Blendery, they went through and tasted, and some individuals bought barrels, some clubs bought barrels and released them. This is one that the Blendery actually kept and released themselves, so it's not a third-party club pick or anything. And my understanding is this is I think it was the oldest one that they released, and I think it was the last one they released. So a friend of mine who happened to be stopping by there, going to work or something that day, sent me an IM with a picture, and I headed out the door. So was lucky enough to get my hands on one.
Thank goodness. Like this is so smelling this. Like you take the other two, the OKI and the Buckners that we've had, but this is dialed up a notch. This is darker to me. Like it's full on dark grape. Like
I don't know if that has to do with aging it in Texas or not. You know, a lot of higher,
potentially,
a lot harsher climate, which they have like a whole system in their warehouse that kind of helps prevent from maybe getting too hot and stuff in there. But it is still hot Texas summer, and you know, I still do think it probably ages a little different in Texas than it does in Kentucky, personally.
Yeah. I think the highest proof one that they bottled out of the blender, I want to say it was 134. And it was the, what was it called? The Antique, I think is what it was called. It kind of did a riff on a BTAC. But that was the highest proof one. And I tried it, and honestly, it was a little hot to my palate, but I know a lot of people really rave about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Anything different you get on the nose? I mean, obviously, I get it's darker, richer to me than the other two, which all three noses have been good. I mean, this is just a great profile. So you're splitting hairs when you're like, oh, this one's better than the other one. But
yeah, they all kind of have the same sort of setup. It's just, you know, you get stronger notes or darker fruit notes depending on, you know, which one you have. And again, I've got a couple other ones that have even different profiles than these.
Yeah, it's like an exotic grape, like rolled in some darkest, richest caramel, like caramel. Oh man, it's it's good. I'm gonna go to the palate. What do you get on the nose, Garrett?
I mean, a lot of them are kind of the same. Where I'm getting some banana, which is weird. Like I know that's usually like a Jack Daniel's thing, but I get a lot of banana kind of notes on the nose.
Finish on it, literally stopping my heart.
Got a defibrillator in here?
Yeah, it's intense, and I love it.
Do they know how old the BuffTurkey is from the Blendery? How old is this one?
This one's 16.
Yeah.
16 yep.
So these two are 16, and then
15. Yeah.
This Buckner's is 15.
Yep.
Yeah, but that proof is just bringing out all the complexity. It's more balanced. I'm not getting the spiky sweetness. Like it's not going from Buffalo Trace to turkey. Like you know what I mean? Like grape, cherry to funk. It's going just hello. I'm here, and I'm going to stay with you.
Yep.
It's very good. The blendery guys are masters of what they're doing. I am still shocked when I try some of their bottles, and we tried the battle plans, which we'll talk. I wanted before that we end the pod, we're going to talk a little bit about the event that we're going to be a part of, which I think is really cool and exciting. But those guys are doing some great things. It's worth the money to get an amazing bottle from them. I know it's not your B-Tax and all that other crap that we chase and want, but the bottles that are coming out, the high quality bottles from the blendery are absolutely phenomenal, and they're going to be some of your favorite bottles in your collection. So,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and they do a lot of really cool things. They're just a really cool place to check out, even if you're just going to go in there and hang out at the bar and try some of their stuff. They're doing a lot of cool things. I mean, every time you're gonna they have a VIP experience where you can bottle your own. Every time you do that, it's gonna be a whole different thing. They're releasing different things every weekend or two, and I don't know. The blendery is really cool. It's one of those places where if you weren't just sitting at the liquor store trying to get your basic stuff, you could go to the blendery and kind of just get your fill and be happy because they make really good stuff. I want to say it's probably because the Texas heat helps, but I think they're just really smart about what they do and what they get.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just can't get over the finish on these. The finish is it's intense, man.
It stays with you.
It's a roller coaster. It literally is like being on a roller coaster. It lasts for days. I can't think of anything else that gives a finish like that. Maybe a George T. Stagg. I'm struggling to figure out something that has a finish like that on that. So, which is really good. This blendery is phenomenal. I think it's well balanced. I knew proof, and you always oh, you're gonna pick the one that has the highest proof, but I truly think it's better balanced. This OKI is great. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy the Buckners. I think as the proof goes up, I enjoy those bottles. So I think you pace them out really well, but I prefer the blendery albino bison, and I'm not trying to be biased at all. I really think it's the nose on it is just darker, richer. The palate is a little more diverse and complex, and it has a little more to offer than some of the others the others start a little sweeter and kind of go bam right into the finish. So I get a little more mid palate on it, which I really enjoy. So I don't know, Garrett, what are you thinking on these three?
I don't know. I get a lot of similarities, especially between the OKI and the blendery because they're both similar age. What's the proof difference? The proof difference is
115 and 123.
Yeah, so it's about.
Yeah, I mean, so a little bit, but I don't know. I'm getting a lot of similar things between the OKI and the albino bison personally.
You're getting a lot of similar things?
A lot of similarities,
yeah. For sure. The profile is very similar. Yeah. But to me, it's richer, darker. There's no question to me. You can, and I don't know if you get the same.
I mean, honestly, the Buckners and the OKI are a little closer together for me.
Yeah.
And then the bison kind of steps away with, it's just kind of a richer, overall
complex
experience.
Yeah, I can see that. They all kind of have some kind of similarity to them.
Yeah, I think you might be getting overwhelmed by the finish because they're all three finishes are very similar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the front end and the nose are very similar.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's that mid palate that kind of makes a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. I mean, these are all three phenomenal bottles. Thank you again for sharing these with us. I mean, I don't know what more you want when you drink something when you want, because we're you're gonna, and so let's take a time out for a second and talk about people's bourbon journey. Everyone's different. People are listening to this podcast. Some of you have been drinking bourbon for a while. Some of you are new to bourbon, trying to learn about bourbon. Some of you are kind of in the middle of the road, and this experience isn't for everyone, but it is a great pour. I highly recommend trying to get a sample or a pour of some of this BuffTurkey. Sorry,
BuffTurkey.
It's such a unique experience, and that's really what I'm looking for these days. To So I really enjoy it, and I'm a sucker for a great finish, and this is one of the best finishes on anything I've ever had in my life. So that's where I stand.
I want to try these samples that he brought us.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I've brought a couple of brought some blind samples. So you need to clean your Glen or something, and you need another cup.
I don't have another one. So how about we just share, Garrett? Because
You just want to share cups?
yeah,
You bring another Glen?
I didn't. I only have one.
Slacker.
I know.
Unprepared. All right, so make sure you keep those straight as far as the letters.
Okay, so
just to paint the picture, since we're in an audio format here, so they've been handed two custom labeled Bourbon Nerdz, 1 ounce sample bottles, one with a red letter A and one with a red letter B, and it's quite simple. It's not guess what it is.
B or A?
That is A. It's just which one do you like? That's really all it is.
Okay. Well, there's 4 different samples, and we're doing the red samples right now.
Correct. Yeah. There's also a blue set of AB as well.
Oh
Do
my
you want
God.
to take the red pill or the blue pill?
Right now, this is the red pill because this smells like a freaking caramel raspberry.
Honestly, the A almost smells like one of these buff turkeys.
It does, but I'm getting a much more sweet raspberry note that I wasn't getting. Maybe it's a cherry. Maybe it's just cherry note. It's a little sweeter dialed up.
I'm kind of like run back and forth between them two.
Oh well, here, let me smell the other one. I haven't tried that one yet. You already chugged half the glass over here. I'm gonna have to call Garrett an Uber over here. Drink responsibly, everyone. Please.
I'm sipping these. I don't know what he's talking about.
See, he's getting offended over there. Oh my God.
So
He's the one over here who needed extra sleep this morning.
Grape. Did you just give us the same stuff that we're drinking? Is that what's happening right now? Because I smell grape. I don't know. Is this Russell's 15? What's going on here?
I feel like they're pretty similar, but I'm kind of like
raspberry. I'm getting the grape note off of this.
I kind of like the finish a little more on A.
I haven't had either one, so I'm getting a grape note, but I'm not getting a turkey funk.
Well, the thing is with the buff turkeys, you're not going to
get
You're not really going to get a funk because it was made at Buffalo Trace.
No, I'm just saying like off these samples.
All right, so you're back on A there.
Back on A. Holy cow, it's sweet, dude. Honeydew, raspberry, cherry. Ah, man, it's caramel. It's got all of it. It's all sweet. Let me try it.
I've already got my pick for what I think is better, but I want to kind of hear what you say first.
I don't know, but it's got to finish. It's got to be one of these bottles. It's
got
got to be a different one like this.
The finish back to back, side by side.
Yeah, the finish is insane on it. It's got to be one of these.
You think finish is better on A than B?
No, I haven't even had B yet. I'm saying the finish on it is insane. It just like these buff turkeys. It's got to be a buff turkey profile. But I don't think it matches up with.
It's none of these bottles.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's none of these, but I think it's a buff turkey recipe. I don't know about this one yet. Is this benchmark foolproof?
I promise that there is no benchmark foolproof in the blind.
I'm looking at my benchmark.
That was kind of fun though. Benchmark and Stag, kind of go together. So
yeah, for those that don't know, I think Cody was blinded a Stag and a benchmark foolproof and selected the benchmark foolproof,
which shows you that you don't need to go out and
spend a bunch of money on secondary for a bottle.
Just buy benchmark foolproof, guys. Surprise bourbon of the year.
Very surprising.
Great value is what it is. Okay.
All right, so I think Garrett's got a choice. What are you thinking? A or B?
I don't know. I'm not ready. Yeah, hold on.
That's B in your hand, I'm pretty sure.
Back and forth again.
It's much more subtle. It doesn't have the finish that A has. It's not even close. But it's good.
It's got some good notes up front.
It's got some good notes up front. Yeah, I mean, I'm just getting a lot of caramel and honey on it and a little bit of red stone fruit. I'm going back to A real quick.
This is fun.
Starting to get a little darker onto me. It's got a little stringency, but it's super. Finish is just like, God, it's intense, man. That finish is so. It's like an experience. Every time I drink this, it's a BuffTurkey. There's no way. I've never had a finish like this. It's not George T. Stagg, I don't think.
I don't think it's George T. Stagg either. I can kind of get some similarities there, but
they're both really good. So, but I'm gonna lean towards A just because of the finish is phenomenal.
All right, so you prefer A?
I'm also picking A.
Yeah. Okay, so you want to give a guess as to what it is?
Is it something that we are familiar with?
It's something I believe y'all have both had and enjoy.
Okay.
A?
Yes.
Just A?
Y'all have not had B.
Okay.
Okay.
But
it's not a
is it something?
Turkey?
Is it something we've owned or we've just tried?
I'm not sure what all you have.
Yeah.
Just give a guess.
Yeah.
If you want to. If not, it's cool.
It's not a BuffTurkey recipe?
A is not.
Wow. Okay. Because it's got a good finish on it.
It has a very good finish.
Restless 15?
No, it's
No,
not. I would recognize Restless 15. Man, it's so hard. Let's see.
You want the reveal?
No, guess real quick. You gotta guess. Make me look like an idiot.
Honestly, I can't. I really can't think of what it would be.
It has that finish like a BuffTurkey, which is crazy to me.
So I'm guessing it's.
Oh, E.H. Taylor barrel proof?
No, I don't think it's E.H. Taylor barrel proof. I think it is. Man, it's going to be something like an Old Forester or something that I'm going to be super annoyed about.
It gives me a little bit
Go
of
ahead.
vibes. William Lou Weller? Oh, my God.
The A is William Lou. I would have never guessed we did.
That's a 24 William LaRue Weller as A.
Wow.
And B is one of the whiskey blendery BuffTurkeys called 0.3.
I've never had either one of those.
So this gives me more BuffTurkey vibes than that. That doesn't give me the finish that these all give me. That's interesting.
So
it's Buffalo Trace.
I would have never guessed those because I've never had either one of them.
This doesn't
I've
taste
never
like
had
a
William
weeder.
Lou Weller. I've never had the zero.
I've had a William Lou Weller.
Oh yeah, I know you have.
Hang on, is this the A or the B?
It smells so good, huh?
Is this A or B?
This is A. That's B.
That's A. So that's the William Weller.
Yep.
Yeah. He's like, let me get that now. Wow, that's interesting.
And suddenly it disappears.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for sharing me a little sip.
Whatever. There was a little sip left. It doesn't taste like a weeder.
It doesn't taste like a weeder to me. Wow.
That's the 2024.
I don't know if these are messing with my palate though, because the finish on it was really good. Because when I had the William Lou Weller, when I did the blind, it's one of my most popular videos I've done. I did with George T. Stagg, William Lou Weller, Camp Nelson, and Booker's Reserve. Like I just wasn't getting a lot of finish on it. Now I'm getting a BuffTurkey type finish, which is crazy to me. It just blows my mind. Like,
well, I mean, the BuffTurkey thing is made by Buffalo Trace.
No, I know it is, but I don't remember ever getting a finish like that because that gave me a finish like these. Like it competed with these on a finish level, and I was bashing it. That's my regular glass.
Do you want to drink it?
Yeah, I'll drink it.
Finish one of them so I can have a glass. All right.
Okay.
He's collecting.
I'm collecting all these glasses. But I was just like, wow. I mean, I'm glad I picked my dream bottle, at least.
So
I can honestly say I'm not going to be upset if I don't get a William Lou Weller.
And so that's the 24, which I don't know if it's the best, but it is what it is. So I will say the 0.3. I picked that one because that's the one that I've gotten the most cherry notes off of BuffTurkey.
Cherry bomb.
Yeah.
It's like a... Okay, now I'm getting the finish on it. Now it's getting... But
oh, now it's getting there. Now that I know what it is.
No. I'm just getting a better finish on it now. I wasn't getting it. It wasn't hitting quite like it was.
But, all right. Y'all ready to do the blue?
Absolutely.
Are we?
Okay.
Let's do the blue pill.
Oh, God. All right. We're doing this live. Sorry, guys. I know this may be a boring
Live
video.
from New York. This is Saturday
night. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Man, he just pours it all in there.
You said you wanted... Are we not sharing them?
Yeah, we're sharing.
Okay.
100%.
It's fine. These are little pours.
Yeah.
Man,
Mama, I'm coming home.
All right, just so I can try and.
Oh, hey, let's pour it in the glass, buddy.
My bad.
Goodness.
Jeez, man. Can't take this guy anywhere.
Which one is that one?
I don't know. You just wasted half. That's not even a napkin.
Yeah,
Let me go get it. And we're back.
We're back
With another
live from Saturday Night Live.
Dude, that did not taste like a weeder to me.
It didn't, honestly, even after you said it, it still didn't taste like a weeder.
But maybe I should have cleansed my palate.
All right, here we go.
All right.
A and B, right? A and
Yeah.
B.
Blind number 2, Bourbon Nerdz Blind.
You know, after we do these buff turkeys, it all kind of smells the same.
Dude, I think these buff turkeys just blew my nostrils and my palate out.
Well,
I honestly, that can happen. Like seriously, when you're drinking stuff with good finish and high proof, it can.
They're
knock
pretty
your palate.
similar. B kind of feels like it has a little more ethanol to it. I think B might have a little bit better palate, or better nose, but
Can I
they're
smell?
Yeah,
That'd be great. Thanks, buddy.
That's A you have there.
Hey.
and B.
Live coverage of Cody
Are we B-tacking it again? Is that what's
smelling
going
a
on?
Glencairn.
Which B tag is that one? I mean, I wouldn't have guessed the B tag for the last
let me
one.
taste
So
Is that George T. Stagg?
All will be revealed at the end.
it doesn't smell like George T. But honestly, if he did a William Lou Reller in the last one, I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. I don't even know anymore.
Here, let me get some.
All right, yeah, pass that A back.
A. Now I'm going to B. I'm going to smell a B.
It doesn't smell like George T.
It smells like a rye almost. Is this Operation Bourbon Nerds? Hold on, I haven't smelled it.
That would be sick if you put that.
Yeah,
in.
if you
And then
put
we
that
pick
in.
that
It
one.
smells like a banana, pineapple,
I'm getting a lot of banana today.
banana Foster on this one. I haven't got banana at all until this one. This one's like screaming at me. It's like a banana
Like Screaming Titan.
Foster's, like caramel, a little baking spice. Holy smoke. That's like, do you have Jack 14?
I'm not going to tell you
He
what
does-
it
That's
is.
Jack 14.
He does that. He does.
I do have it.
That's Jack 14.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Jack 14. And
I can tell you pretty
freaking
quick.
delicious because I got that butterscotch hint in the back, mid to back palate. And
I already know I like A better.
I don't know.
B has a little
Give me A again.
a little stringency that I'm not a fan of.
But it
It might be the barrel char that I was talking about earlier.
Give me A. Give me A. I hope to God I got it right. I haven't had a lot of
There-
experience with
if
it.
A-
There is no wrong answer.
If A is 12, batch 3, and this is 14, I'm going to be super happy.
I don't know, but these are
Like I
all
called it.
like smelling and tasting amazing. So I'm not upset about it. Nothing. And he really gave.
So
us
just
some
keeping
zingers.
track. So this is A you have,
A.
right?
Yeah,
And that's B.
B is Jack 14. I'm guessing right now.
That's a guess.
That's it. I think it's a damn good guess.
I mean, I can kind of see some Jack profile to it. Honestly, it doesn't drink like a 14. The 14 though, it doesn't have like as much of proof as I would think the 14 would have.
Well, and again, the objective is which one do you like better, and then maybe hazard a guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Is this another Jack product, or am I just have the Jack 14 in my mouth?
I'm guessing it's the Jack 12 versus the 14, but I'm going to go with A versus B.
Obviously, blowing right past the objective once again and guessing what they.
I'm going to go with A versus B.
I think these are both Jack products. I think it's 12 versus a 14. I think 14 is the B, and I do prefer the butterscotch note. That has a
so
pretty
we're-
good
so
finish.
we're
They're both
split.
really good, but I'm gonna go with B.
So B over A.
Yeah.
A over B.
Oh, you like A over B?
Yeah.
So what did I say? What was I saying might be the Jack 14 might be better than?
George C. Stagg.
Russell's 15.
Are you? What?
No way. Which one did I pick? Which one was A? Oh, Russell's.
So the A was another.
Oh, turkey rare.
It's turkey rare,
Interesting.
so it's another 16-year
See-
buff turkey.
See, I didn't get the grape notes like I usually get from Russell's
I got
15.
And the B in that one was a Russell's
Yeah,
15.
even after knowing it's a Russell's 15, it still doesn't
The
smell
B
like
was
I
Russell's
usually.
15.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, my
It doesn't-
palate's
it's still-
fried from these buff turkeys.
Well, it still doesn't smell like it. It's so weird because like I smell my Russell's 15 a lot, And it just has like almost a grape Kool-Aid kind of smell to it.
I remember we smelled your bottle for days.
I've had 2 different bottles.
Yeah.
And this doesn't smell like either one of them.
No, I didn't. Like,
even knowing the bottles, it still doesn't smell like Russell's 15 to me. It's wild.
That's crazy to me.
So I picked the Turkey Rare.
You did.
And I picked the Russell's 15. Let's go! Bourbon of the year last year.
He picked the Russell's 15 as a Jack 14.
I picked it because I liked it. I
mean, to be fair, it did have some...
You were talking shit about it,
Jack,
dude.
Some Jack quality. When did I talk shit about it at all?
Just joking.
Okay.
Russell's 15 is supposed to be your favorite bourbon of all time.
So there you go.
Have I ever said that ever?
No,
exactly.
Right.
Just goes to show if you ever want to kind of test, what your likes are, go with things blind.
Super blind. That's what we've been saying. Like, it's really interesting what you could come up with a super blind.
Dude, I swear that in my life that was Jack 14.
They both did have some crazy banana flavor.
Dude,
and
I don't
know if it's because it kind of came after all this stuff.
Yeah.
Which still doesn't make sense why it would have a banana flavor, but
I don't know. I honestly, because your palate could be blown out. Like, I remember
this
trying
doesn't smell
stuff.
like Russell's 15 at all.
Yeah,
That's what it is, or at least that's mine.
Drink some of it.
Here, no, you can just have it. It's fine.
Drink the rest of that then. Man. Now
I mean,
it's starting to...
But do you smell the grape like you usually do?
No, not the... Well, it's dark.
I don't know. I don't get the grape.
Dude, I think it's because these BuffTurkeys just blew our nose and palates out.
I mean, this Turkey Rare is really good.
I remember drinking a couple pours that I enjoy, but after Stag, and I was like, man, these aren't hitting like they were. And I had Stag, that was a banger, and
I would drink the shit out of that Turkey Rare.
Be mindful. Really I think this is a great test for be mindful of what you're drinking. Like if you're drinking 138 proof and you go to a 90 proofer, it's not gonna taste the same. It's not gonna be as good as you like it now. And then you there's nothing wrong resetting your palate, trying to drink, but even drinking these powerful bourbons that we've been drinking, like I took some water. It takes some time sometimes to reset your palate when you're drinking.
He took some water.
I drank some water.
Took some water.
Did I say took it?
You did that time.
You said you took some water.
I don't know. I'm just trying to talk on the podcast.
I don't
you guys are.
But yeah, and the Russell's 15, it's 117 proof, and then the Turkey Rare is 114. So they're relatively close in proof.
No, this is good. This is good science.
It's just pretty wild that I didn't get any of the grape notes that I usually get from Russell's 15. I guarantee I'm going to go home and be like, I'm going to smell my Russell's 15.
100%.
And it's not going to smell anything like that.
Well, it's in a bottle.
It's in a bottle.
It's a little different than Glencairn, but
even if I put it in Glencairn, I swear I get that great note.
I get a butterscotch. Dude, I swear this is Jack 14. I think he's lying to us.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
No, I don't feel. I'm just messing with you. So awesome. That's a great test. I mean, try stuff blind. Yeah, challenge yourself to not believe what your friends tell you, what you think.
Don't believe your friends. Don't listen to your friends say.
Don't trust those stupid
Don't
bourbon
trust
nerds.
the friends.
Well, and I also was just trying to highlight, like, again, the Buffalo turkeys, they're a rare thing. They're kind of, get it while you can. But when you put them up against things that are, without a doubt considered top flight bourbons like William Blue Weller and Russell's 15,
bourbons
they stand
ever.
They stand up pretty well to them.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Like, this was not this one was so much better than the other one. My feedback was, oh man, they're both really good, but I like this one better. But
yeah,
and I happened to pick the control groups, right? The Russell's 15 and the William Blue Weller, which I'm not surprised. But
that just goes to show you that you can do a blind and it might, kind of change your mind.
Yeah.
So.
And it honestly, what did you eat that day? What's the temperature outside? There's so many environmental factors that can influence.
Whoa, we're going to environmental factors today.
Yeah, can you even say that?
Because he's like, I picked something I didn't want to pick.
No,
you picked the Russell's 15. I think you did pretty good.
I picked William Blue Weller and Russell's 15. I did exactly what I would have done.
For sure.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of things that can have a difference. Like when I picked Benchmark Full Proof over Stag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really cool. Challenge yourself, do some blinds, think differently. There's nothing wrong with it.
We need to do a blind soon with
We've got a lot of stuff.
We have a couple different ryes that we need to do a blind.
Yeah, we've got ryes. We've got bottle and bonds. There's
I think we're due for some blinds for sure.
100%. If you guys want to see blinds coming from us and us give us our personal opinion and embarrassing ourselves, absolutely, I would be more than happy to do that.
So let's talk about. You guys want to talk about the raffle a little bit?
Yeah, let's absolutely
talk
about the raffle.
We were at Apollo's. We went about 5 a.m. I think Cody kind of joined us after he got
5:35.
He got a little beauty nap after I saw.
Yeah.
So
I've had a hard week, guys. Hard week.
Anyway, I mean, we all won, right? Like you won. Did you win something?
Eventually,
okay.
Yeah. So what did you get, Garrett?
So on the first come first serve, I got the 13th Colony Cast Strength, which is a very good bottle. Yeah,
very good.
This is 171 barrel, bottle 116, 5-year, 10-month, 116 proof,
and a single barrel at that, not just the batch cast
barrel,
strength.
by the way. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
How do you know it's a single barrel?
It says it right over here.
Oh. Master Distiller. Oh, a single barrel. Okay, I see it now. Okay. Honestly, I think a lot of the 13th Colony Cast Strengths are single barrels, though.
Yeah, they do have.
I think that's why it's so hard to find.
They have mass-produced ones too, because I know that one that I had previously, it didn't have handwritten stats on it. It was printed.
But I also got the Suerte from Someone Say Whiskey, which I've been meaning to get. It's a Reposado. Yeah. It's 88 proof.
It's tasty too.
Yeah,
I had a sample of it.
I haven't had this yet. So
our friend from the podcast, Daniel, he said that he did a side-by-side between Fortaleza and the Suerte pick. He said the Suerte pick blew it out of the
Honestly,
water.
I've enjoyed Suerte more than Fortaleza, personally.
Yeah.
And it's a great brand, and again, it's a single barrel, so
yeah,
for sure. I as a brand in general, I've enjoyed Suerte more than Fortaleza.
So what did you get for your raffle? Which
I did win the raffle. I was number, I would guess like 5 or 6.
Yeah, pretty high up.
Yeah,
I was up there. I got the Penelope American Light Whiskey 17-year.
Yeah,
it's 138 proof. Like this is a bottle I drank earlier today and was pretty blown away by. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, honestly, I think now our next episode should be Penelope. Like
100%. Let's do it.
We're gonna put Sagamore on the back burner. We're gonna do Penelope because this bottle
Penelope.
This was the bottle of the drop that people were trying it.
This is the best thing I've had all day.
I don't know about that.
Well,
I had William Weller and Russell's 15. You're talking about the drop?
Well, again, at the drop when people are sharing ahead of time. So this bottle was out there open for the taking to try, and it's really good. And like I said, it really blew Garrett away. And it just so happened that when it came his turn, it was still there, which was surprising that it hadn't been taken yet, because it's a really highly sought after bottle.
For sure. So
it's outstanding.
What'd you get, Cody?
Oh, so I got they had a new riff pick. Someone say whiskey pick, which I'm excited. I haven't tried it yet, so we'll hopefully do a video or something over it, or we'll talk about it on the next podcast. I also got the Blue Note, which has like 30 different things in it.
It's cask finished, and I think it's like 8 different cask finished.
Dude, those Blue Notes I heard are really good.
Dude, I'm excited, and like those Blue Notes go for $250, $300. It was listed at $219. I wasn't gonna argue. It's still expensive, but I was really excited to get it, and I can't wait to share it and try it and see what everybody thinks about it.
He was so excited to share it that he left it at home and didn't bring it to the pod.
I had 2 boxes that fell out of the
Very
box.
excited to share that he didn't share it with any of us. What a jerk!
That's all right. I'll give a sample and take it to Theron.
And then you won the raffle. What'd you win the raffle?
So the raffle, I had an opportunity. Basically, my choice was Elmer T. Lee or a E.H. Taylor barrel proof, and I chose the E.H. Taylor barrel proof, even though I have more E.H. Taylor barrel proofs. But E.H. Taylor barrel proof is literally one of my favorite bottles of all time. I would drink that all day, every day. So, and it trades for more than MOT Lee.
And that would have been my pick if this Penelope whiskey hadn't been there.
So, honestly, it's a win-win.
And in the raffle format, it was $89 for it.
$89
good luck finding it for that.
100%.
I feel like this is around like that $80, $90 range.
Yeah, it was.
So I got a new riff, Someone Say Whiskey store pick, the Blue Note, limited release edition of all the crazy stuff, which I'm excited to try.
Yeah,
and then the E.H. Taylor barrel proof. So I
heard those Blue Notes are really, really good. good. I'm excited to try that one for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Theron, what did you score today?
So I got the new riff as well, which I really like new riff. I'd gotten some samples of it before it had came to Texas. I think it was last year when it actually came to Texas. It wasn't distributed here for a long time. And the single barrels I've had have all been really good. So I'm excited to get it. And then also, first come, first serve, there was E.H. Taylor single barrel. I have I like Taylor's, and I have the whole other typical available lineup with the exception of a single barrel. So
was that a store pick or just regular?
That was just a regular. That one was
so
a store
the one
pick.
in the raffle is a store pick.
I would have loved to
Yeah.
have got it, and I think some people that had grabbed things before that didn't realize it was a store pick.
Yeah.
You saw some shrugged shoulders whenever he went walking by.
That Texas pick is insane.
It's phenomenal. Sure. I would have grabbed that in a heartbeat.
I'm still not upset that I got the Penelope, but that single barrel Texas pick is freaking phenomenal.
Yeah. And then I eventually did win on the raffle. Last time I did the Apollo drop, I was left wanting. They ran out of bottles and hadn't called my number. But this time they got to me, albeit late. So I got a Penelope Rio. I've got several Penelopes. I don't have a Rio currently. Okay. And at that point, we're kind of looking at your Blantons and the nature. Sure. So
there's happy to get it. There was a couple 13 colonies. This is kind of
surprising. I have a 13th cast strength, and I have the 13th 113 maple already. So it's
those are the two 13th colonies.
So I'm just trying to avoid duplicate bottles.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I kind of the same thing too. It was just like nothing. It was all duplicate for me when I had a choice. But if I'm going to choose a barrel proof, it's just to clear the choice. Like, I enjoy MOT Lee, especially at the price they were selling it. I think it was $69.99 or $79.99, but not when I can get a barrel proof. And maybe I'll trade it. I'll hold on to it. I'll drink barrel proof for days because it's just such a good bottle. So the raffle was fun. We actually had a good turnout. We had a lot of newbies. We had some experienced people. I met some guys from the area. We sold a lot of T-shirts for the Bourbon Nerdz community, so I'm really excited.
There was quite a few people wearing the Bourbon Nerdz shirts. I was pleasantly surprised.
So, but I mean, it was, the Bourbon Nerdz community represented that drop, and that was worth everything else. So how many bottles and everything else. And I had a good time. It's great seeing everybody. Obviously, we're reconnected with Theron and getting him down here to do this podcast, which he's sharing.
This is the first time that Theron's been on the podcast.
Yeah, they actually.
He's been on the podcast, but he hasn't been.
He's like been
on the podcast.
I've got a mic pointed at me this time.
Yeah, so. I was like, I will threaten your family if you
Bro,
don't.
this
on the podcast this time.
This swear check pick is really good.
Is it? I'll have to try it in a second.
This is one of the better tequilas I've had for sure.
So, what else? Is there anything else, you guys? I know this is we've been kind of like all over the place from a normal episode, but we've talked about a lot. We talked about the BuffTurkey.
Do you want to touch on the Battle of the Blends?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we're signed up for we've talked a lot about the blendery, but we've got a Battle of the Blends, which we're a part of. Theron and I are on a team called Need Elite, which I love. We've came up with a signal and stuff. Unfortunately, Garrett's not a part of that, but
I will be there in spirit.
He will be there in spirit.
So we had planned, which we could still do.
Yeah, we're gonna we're still planning a blendery event.
So yeah, I was like, hey, let's do a blender event on the 19th. He's like, hey, me and Theron we're already getting together on the 19th, and I'm like, well, we can still do an event. So it can still happen. At worst, I come and hang out and drink from the blendery. It's not a big deal.
100%.
So it's either way, I'm gonna be having a good time.
It's a win-win.
Yeah, it's a win-win for me.
All right, so Theron, you want to talk about? I want you to kind of give us more because you've already kind of experienced what this is about.
Yeah, so this is I think it's the third year or so they've done this. So the blendery, as it sounds in the name, they blend things. So they have single barrel bottles that they sell, but they also do a lot of blending, and they come up with a lot of unique flavors. I think that's what people really gravitate towards them for. So they have this competition that they've done. I'm going to say this is either the third or the fourth annual. And at least for this year, it's going to be 30 different teams of 4. And each will go on an independent day and do a blend using the exact same 5 source barrels, all at cast strength. And then you have to create the best blend you can within about an hour and a half's time frame that you'll submit for judging. And then I think top 3 take home prizes. With the grand prize, you get a blending membership to the blendery, which is like the gold class. You can go and do blends, at your leisure, during or even after hours at the blendery. It's a cool segment to be in up there. And I want to say 100% of it goes to charity. And I've been sitting here looking through my phone furiously trying to remember what the charity is, but it's a significant donation, to enter, and it all goes to charity. So that's another thing about, that I've found from the blendery and a lot of the clubs that do picks through there is there's a lot of charitable activity that goes along with it.
Yeah, that's amazing. I honestly didn't even realize that it goes to charity. That's great. I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, so
I feel a lot better about investing that kind of money into it.
Yeah, and one of our team members is actually a blending member there, and so he's done blends. So I got the opportunity, an awesome opportunity, this past week. I was invited to join him and go make a blend. So I got to have a little bit of experience, get my feet wet. There's definitely some science to it, a lot of trial and error, but it's gonna be fun and exciting and hectic and stressful when we actually get in there to do the battle. But like I said, it's for a good cause, and it'll be great fun. And if nothing else, we'll walk away with a bottle we really like.
Yeah, no,
that's what I was telling Cody is like, even if we don't have a blender today, I'm just gonna sit up there and drink blender stuff. And honestly, like I feel like with that, it's just like throw some stuff together, see what happens. It's I mean, you have an hour and a half. That's a long time to kind of figure out what you think is.
Yeah,
it goes quick.
It goes because even
it does. So
so
fun. One thing you guys should check out. Bruzel did a thing recently where he had a few teams that did a blending thing. So I think there's some things out there where
this Russell's 15 is really good.
Is it?
I just was with you.
I have the Suerte tequila.
Hey, don't swear at me.
Tequila.
I'll swear at you. No comprende.
But I don't know. I think you guys will do a good job. So
looking forward to it.
No, I'm excited.
My big thing is like, even if we don't do a blendery event, I'll be excited just kind of sit there and watch you guys and just drink blendery stuff, and then we can do
videos or whatever.
Videos and stuff. And not that it's a blendery specific pod here or anything, but it's. If you are interested in going, you haven't been before, they have a shop out front. They do have a tasting room, which is reserved for members. I think it's on Thursdays. I think it's from if it's 2 to 5 or something like that. They open the tasting room up and they do flights. So if you're not a member and interested and want to do more than just to go see what they have for sale, and pretty much everything they sell, they have for tasting at the desk. So you can definitely try before you buy. But they're all super nice folks up there. So if you go, just let them know it's your first time, and they'll definitely welcome you in.
Yeah, they're not a sponsor, and we really enjoy the experience that we've had, and we will have in the future. And my goal is to win. I want to win. I want to win the Battle of the Blends. That would be great.
We're definitely going to have a blender event at some point. Another one.
Yeah, 100%. We're going to have a blender event. We're talking through to with Jamie. We're going to have a flight night
at Ayers.
Yeah,
I keep asking him about that.
No, I talked to him about it. I'm putting the metal to the pedal. And then we're gonna set up also a bottle share we want to do. We're gonna figure out the best location to do that. I know we want people from North Texas, Middle Texas, Oklahoma. So we've got a lot of stuff in the works, and
we have merchandise.
Yeah, well, not much left. We've been selling a lot of merchandise.
We still have a lot of large and extra large.
Yeah, we get large and extra large, but we're selling.
I was kind of surprised how many people wanted double X.
Yeah.
So
I've got one last. I'm just bearing gifts, and y'all definitely gonna have me back on the program at this rate. Yeah. So this is something that I got from a group that I was lucky enough to join. This was an internal blend they did. So they took Wild Turkey 101 and Rare Breed, I believe, and they aged it in honey and amburana casks.
God.
And it is the Mandalorian Winnie the Pooh themed Poodalorian.
Dude, that is awesome. That's like literally.
So I got it in like a 1.75 handle, and I went and broke it down to smaller 375 bottles and repackaged it. So there you go, guys.
All right, this is our Bourbon Nerdz gift.
Yep. So happy Bourbon Day, by the way. I think bearing the lead. It is Bourbon Day today.
Is it Bourbon Day?
It is.
Dude, why didn't you tell me earlier?
It's also No Kings.
Did we just become best friends?
It won't be Bourbon Day for any of you listening.
Yeah,
but
no.
Currently, it is Bourbon Day.
And happy belated Father's Day by the time this comes out. Because Father's Day is tomorrow.
So this will come out next weekend. Tomorrow is Father's Day. So it's technically Father's Day podcast. So happy Father's Day to you guys. I'm not a father. You guys are.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
So hopefully tomorrow has some good steaks and
just spending time with the family. I'm gonna go. So my daughter and I and my wife, which is still I'm getting used to saying, we're gonna go watch How to Train a Dragon.
My daughter saw it the other day. She gave it 2 thumbs up.
I hear it's really good. Yeah. Like, people are saying it's very good. So I'm excited. It looks really good in the previews. So I'm excited. I'll give you my opinion once watch it on the next podcast we're doing. So, but thank you, Theron. Thank you for honestly, like, you're such a great friend, and meeting you has been phenomenal. Just like by chance, honestly, because like
complete chance.
we might not have ever known each other. Like, even though we've graduated from similar schools and all that other stuff.
Like literally, the next chair in line after me would have been across the street in that grassy area. Like, I was at the end of the building.
So it's like, I don't think it was by chance. I believe in karma and all that stuff. But nonetheless, you've been a great supporter of the podcast. You honestly were pushing us to do it. I remember when we had this idea, you were like, yeah, you guys should do it. And I remember that. And Garrett and I were like, I don't know, we'll think about it. And then I bought 2 podcast mics, which I've told, I think, on the podcast before, and forced Garrett into a marriage with me. So
forced
and
marriage.
Here we are, like, what, 20-ish episodes?
Totally forced me. Like, I wasn't one
I
to do
twisted his arm. I said, I threatened him, put a gun to his head, and said, we're doing a podcast. But anyways, it's been fun. We hope you enjoy our content, and we're focused on getting better. We're really close to getting video stuff going on. We have videos going. We're doing a lot of hunting stuff, which is getting a lot of traction. And
we'll have more video stuff out. We'll have one for the raffle we just did.
Yep.
And we'll have one hopefully for Durant.
Hunting video, yeah.
Yeah, we're planning on that one soon. So hopefully it'll be out when you guys hear this.
And if you're listening to us and you haven't subscribed or liked or commented on our YouTube channel, please
what are you waiting for?
We need your help.
What are you waiting for? What are you
we
doing?
need to grow that as well. We're trying to make this a sustainable long-term thing, and we appreciate your support. And we've met some amazing people, and we want to grow our community. And we've added a lot of people to our community today. We sold a lot of T-shirts, which is great. We're not in this for money, guys. We're in this to make good content, have a great time, and teach you about bourbon and help you make good decisions about where to spend your money. That's really what it's about. So at the end of the day. So
yeah, for sure. I have a friend, Brad, who's recently got into bourbon, and he's like always sending me pictures. I'm like, bro, you need to message me before you start buying stuff. And I feel like he's gotten a lot better because I remember one time he was like, oh, I got this James E. Pepper. And I'm like, great. That's a great bottle. And he's like, I also got this this really cool bottle. It's a Willet bottle. I'm like, oh.
What does it look like?
Yeah, it was the Potstill one. I'm like,
looks
bro.
like a bong.
But I think he's kind of gotten a little. I think he's starting to learn a little bit. But it's like, hey, reach out to us. We have no problem like letting you.
Yeah.
We want you guys to buy what you guys will like. We don't want you guys to buy stuff that we think you won't like. So.
Yeah, because there's a lot to choose from out there, and sometimes it's trial and error, and the trial can be a hefty investment sometimes. And
for
I've
sure.
definitely bought a bottle that I expected to be amazing and was willing to pay a premium for, and opened it and was just like, man, this is not what I was looking for.
I've just given away bottles before. Like, just come and ask us. We have no problem letting you try stuff.
Oh, 100%.
Like, just.
Yeah.
I want you to get what you like.
Yeah, if you came to the drop today, you had an option to try a multitude of different things. I was begging people to try bottles that I brought that were good. I brought some E.H. Taylor Rye and store picks, and I'm good. I'm like, okay, no worries. It's here if you want.
People really, there was a lot of good stuff there today.
Yeah, Maker Cellar Aged, which is the best Maker's product on the market. But so last question, and we'll close this out. Mm-hmm. Do you have any advice for someone new to bourbon, and kind of give them like some things you've learned? What advice would you give to a new bourbon?
Yeah, I think really, meet people and talk to them. I think really, if you just try and go at it and, just go off the internet, there's a lot of kind of, I don't know if it's misinformation. Maybe, people, maybe they get kickbacks or benefits for kind of pushing certain things. I don't know, but there's definitely, there's a lot of choices. And like Garrett said, you can find something because it looks cool. And, ultimately it may either not be what you want, for your palate or for your place in the bourbon journey. If you go pick up a BuffTurkey as your first bottle, you're probably not going to know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So, I think really just kind of, make friends, go to a drop, make friends. There's a lot of really cool, a lot of them are Facebook based, but, bourbon groups, there are probably some in your town, so I would say try and research those. There's typically some really good communities there that you can connect with. And ultimately, it's great to have a sip of bourbon, but if you can use it as kind of a common place to come together with other people and get to know other people and build kind of community and camaraderie, that's really, I think, what the goal should be.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, honestly. And also, too, like, maybe you try a bottle, it's a little too high proof, you don't like it. I mean, think about where you are in your bourbon journey and give it a little bit of time and come back to it later on once you've kind of progressed a little bit. I remember, like, I couldn't drink bourbon neat. Like, that was foreign to me. I'm like, hey, how do people do that? Like, I see it in movies and stuff. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I started like drinking Crown and all different kind of stuff back in the day. So, and old fashions and whatever else, but old fashions even took time for me to get, but it took a while for me to progress. And, I've got my stride, and now I wouldn't drink bourbon any other way, but neat. But, you may not be there. It takes time. So understand where you are in your journey. I think it's really important too as well. Don't jump in and, oh, I bought this bottle. Everyone says it's great, but I hate it, so I'm just going to get rid of it and trade it. Hold on to it maybe and, try something else lower proof and, work through what you like and go to some bottle shares, talk with people in the bourbon community, join our bourbon community because we're here to help you. That's what this is all about. So there's no other community that's going to be more helping and, reach out and talk through. I mean, we love talking about stuff that we are passionate about, and we love bourbon, and we want you to love bourbon too. So sometimes it takes time, but yeah, I think that you nailed it with that, and that's all I have. Garrett, you have anything else?
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah, Garrett's napping over there.
Well, we went through. No, we went through the raffle that we had, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we already did.
Yeah,
we did.
So we're
hit all the marks.
He hit it. All right. Well, I'm Cody.
I'm Garrett.
And we are the Bourbon Nerds. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thank you, Theron, for everything you do. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
The Bourbon Nerdz podcast is hosted and executive produced by Cody Mills and Garrett Welch. The show is produced, mixed, and edited by me, Ethan Adams. The show features original music by Alex Pitts. You can find the Bourbon Nerds on all the major social media platforms. Please follow, rate, and review the show on Apple Podcasts or your podcast player of choice. It really does help the show. Please don't hesitate to send an email or message on social media. We love to hear your thoughts, comments, and bourbon suggestions. The Bourbon Nerds would like to remind the audience to always drink responsibly, know your limits, and never drink and drive. Be sure to check in every Sunday for a brand new episode. Cheers!